Hi, it's Penny here, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my reading goals for 2022. So last year in 2021, I tried to set goals that were very measurable and specific, and along with working full-time, honestly, I'm very tired. So in 2022, I'm going to try and make things a little bit focused and maybe a little bit more flexible. Maybe. That said, I do have 7 reading goals, so let's just get into talking about what those are. Firstly, we're going to start with the generic, how many books do I want to read? And I'm going to set this to 100 books. I do have the target of reading 1,000 books in this decade, and if I read 100 books every year, that will do it. I already read 145 last year, and really I think that I can read well over 100 books, but I just think 100 books is a nice target because it's basically 1 physical book and 1 audiobook every week, which is about a standard pace for me. So I don't have to try too hard for it. I don't have to ruin my life by always feeling like I'm behind with my reading, but also it's a number that keeps me reading if I want to keep up with it. So 100 books, a nice, easy, achievable goal for me. Then goal number 2 is TBR 0. This was one of my major goals last year and I didn't quite make it. However, I'm super close. I think, like, if I put all the series aside, which will come up in my next goal, the standalones that I have is actually just 6 books. These 3 are secret because I was given them for a video concept, so you'll find out about those one day if I ever get around to that. And then I just have these 3, so Collected Stories of Ruth Rendell, which my auntie was giving away and my cousin grabbed it for me. I've also got a short story anthology by Huia Publisher, and then I've got this weird little science fiction with these really weird guys on the front that I honestly, if I don't feel like reading it, I could just consider it art because that's the main reason I bought it. But honestly, this stack is tiny. I will definitely finish TBR 0 today. And I mean, I'm counting TBR 0 as just all the standalones finished, because let's get into the next goal that I've got, which is Series 0. Now again, I did have this one on my list of goals for last year and I always knew it was unachievable. This year, maybe it's still unachievable because I think I added up all the books that I would need to read to finish all the series that I have in progress. And it's something like 120, 140 books. I've forgotten the number. Maybe I'll put it here. I do also keep finding series that I haven't put on that list. So it keeps kind of growing at the moment. And 120 books, 140 books, like, okay, that's probably not achievable. But I do want to try and make at least a lot of progress this year. And what I think I can do is finish all the series of which I have books on my shelves here. So let me just quickly give you a little tour of these shelves. Firstly, up here on the left, I've got the rest of the Crown of Stars series by Kate Elliott. So there's 4 books in this series. I actually did start the first one here, Child of Flame, but I've been really struggling to get through these books when I pick them up because the writing's quite dense. There's a lot going on. And I've decided to save them until after I finish my current contract at work at the end of March, because after that I know I'm going to have a lot more brain power for this kind of reading. So there's those 4 books. The next one is a little bit difficult because I think this is the 4th book in the Seven Waters series. So I've read the first book, but I would need to find books 2 and 3 before I could read this one. And I think there's like, I want to say 7 books in the series, but I think that's not quite right. It's called Seven Waters. It should have 7 books. But anyway, I would like to read that whole series because the first one did make me cry quite a lot. I don't know where I'm going to get book 2 and 3 from, but we'll see what we can do. I also have a couple of books here by Steph Mataku. They're children's books about some, I don't even remember, a ram on the moon, something magical based on Maori mythology. I've read some other YA books by Steph Mataku and I really enjoyed them. I think she has a really fun writing style, and so I'm really excited to read these books, and they're super short children's ones, so I think they'll be really easy to read. Then I've got The Relentless Moon here by Mary Robinette Kowal. This is the 3rd book in the Lady Astronaut series, and I think book 4 hasn't been released yet, so if I can read this one, I'll have caught up on the series. Then I've got the first 3 books of the Skullduggery Pleasant series. I think there's like 7 books in the series. Honestly, I don't know how many books in the series. Maybe there's heaps more than that. I am thinking about reading these on audiobook at this point, but we'll see. I always feel like it's cheating a bit to read the audiobook when you have the physical book on your shelves and you're trying to read it because it's on your shelves. But this is a middle grade / YA series, so again, should be really easy. I have Ballad by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the second book in a trilogy that she never finished. I'd like to read it just for completeness because I've read almost everything else that Maggie's written. I also have here Son of a Witch by Gregory Maguire, which is the sequel to Wicked by him. My sister has my copy of Wicked. We did have tickets to Wicked, but now it's been cancelled. Stupid COVID. So that was kind of why I was excited to read that series. I did read it once when I was like 20 and I really loved it, so I would like to read it again. But technically, I could take this off my TBR because I have technically read it. But a long time ago, I don't really remember it. So I think I'll just leave it on there. I also have the first 2 books of the Jaren Quartet. I'm pretty sure it's a quartet. Also by Kate Elliott. This is another one where I actually read the second book when I was a lot younger, and I've never read the first one, but I found the first one. So I would like to read the whole series and see what it's like. I think I liked the second book when I read it, but again, I read it when I was a lot younger. Also down on this next shelf, I do have a few books here from the Wheel of Time and the Dragons of Pern series. I don't have all the books that I haven't read, but I'm going to try and make as much progress on those series as I can. Both those series are massive, so I do think those are ones I might not quite finish, but we'll see. At the very least, I'm going to finish all the series on this shelf so that I can have like true TBR 0, including series 0. And then I'll try and get all my other series that I have in progress that I don't have physical books for. I'll try and get that, maybe not finished, but as close as I can. Maybe that's a bit complicated, but that's my goal. Then my next goal is related to diversity. Now, I had some problems in 2021 with trying to measure the diversity that I was reading. I find being specific with it doesn't work very well. And as well, I know if I'm going to be focusing on reading these series and also other series that I have in progress, that I'm probably not going to do as well at reading diversely just because I've constrained my choices here. And I don't want to split my focus too much. So instead of focusing on reading diversely, what I'm going to focus on is what I'm calling building my diversity pipeline. So last year, one of my goals was that I wanted to read more Maori authored books. And in the beginning, I really struggled. However, once I found some places to source really good Maori authored books that match my interests, it got a lot easier, and honestly there's 4 already on the shelf here. I don't think that it's going to be very hard for me to keep up my Maori author reading now that I know some authors that I really like and I have a place to get Maori authored books. So what I want to try and do is continue building that pipeline for other kind of diverse authors. Like I want more non-binary authors, more Asian authors, and more, I don't know, other people of colors, maybe people with different disabilities. Like I just want to start finding places to gather those books so that once I've completed these shelves, then I'll have plenty of other diverse books to pick up. That's my plan. And I guess linked into that is my next goal. I do want to keep reading Maori authored books. So as I said, I've already got some on my shelves, so I'm not too worried about that goal, but I just want to like make sure that I keep doing it. Then my next 2 reading goals are a little bit different. They're not about what I read, but they're actually about how I read. So the first one that I want to try and do is I want to try and get into the habit of reading an hour before bed every night. I used to do this. I 100% know that when I do this, I sleep so much better. I have way more interesting dreams and just like I get a lot more reading done. Like it's a win all around. So I want to do that. Again, I'm going to probably start tracking this once I finish my contract because when I'm not working, I have a lot more time. It's a lot easier to structure my time how I want to, so I can make sure I get to bed on time in order to start that reading. I did last night manage to do it though, so I'm going to start trying to get into the habit before I finish up my contract. But I have found that when I have done this in my life, I've been a much happier person, much more relaxed, and so that's a goal that I have. My last reading goal is also related to how I read. So another thing that I've found has a really good positive impact on my mental health and my physical health is regularly going for walks. I've started this again recently and honestly straight away noticed how much better I feel. So you might wonder, how does that fit into being a reading goal? When I go for walks, usually, I like to listen to my audiobooks. So what I would like to try and do is every day go for at least an hour's long walk where I listen to my audiobooks. And I think actually my goal overall is going to be to try and hit 1,000 hours of audiobook listening, which pretty much I will only do if I go for regular walks and listen to my audiobooks, because I don't tend to listen to audiobooks that much in other circumstances. I definitely wouldn't hit that target if I didn't, because I didn't hit 1,000 hours last year, but the year before, when I know I went for more walks, I did hit it. So I think it's a totally achievable number if I'm going for some really lovely walks. And that's it. That is my reading goals for 2022. What do you think? Do you think I'm going to achieve them? Also, I would love to know what your reading goals are down in the comments. Let's hope that we can all have a really great 2022, both for reading and for other things. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are doing well, and I will see you next time.